And now it is time to meet our next guest and female business owner in a segment we call Dog Mom Biz. The intro just makes me want to dance. You too? I know it. Candi Wong is the owner of Wildside Dog Gear. She is super passionate about creating products that make dog owners and dogs want to get out and enjoy the great outdoors. She's also focused on creating gear that is both durable and functional. And Candi joins us from Salt Lake City, Utah. Candi, how are you doing today?
Good. How about you?
Oh, so happy to be here and to be able to talk with you today about all of the awesome things happening with your company. So, just to start, tell us how you fell in love with dogs. Where did your love for dogs begin?
Well, so I grew up in Hong Kong, and there wasn't a lot of dogs there because it's such a busy city.
Sure.
And we lived in flats that was probably as tall as what, like 70 stories. I don't know. I can't keep
Wow.
count, but not a lot of dogs until I moved to America, which was, I think I was around 10 or 11 years old. And my first dog was, we adopted the dog that our uncle had, and he was abused, unfortunately. And then we rescued him, and I had no idea what taking care of a dog was. And we had to figure it out. We had to learn. We didn't know any English. All we can do was just show the dog some love. But unfortunately, we had to rehome the dog because it was badly abused, and it was just beyond my control knowing how to, deal with a dog that just kept attacking us, which is not his
Sure.
fault. He was just
Of course.
defending himself. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
kind of what started
It's
with
such
dogs.
a commitment though, and it's like it's the hard work worth doing, right? And it sounds to me like that's when your love and your affection and your commitment to animals really blossomed. So good can come out of hard things. Now, it's my understanding, Candi, that you didn't start in the outdoor gear industry, that you actually transitioned from tech to pet. So how did all that take place?
Well, I used to live in Washington, D.C. I actually didn't know anything about tech. So I took a job as a tech support, the easiest one that you can get into. And I wanted to make the transition easier, transitioning from Washington, D.C. to Salt Lake City. So I needed a remote job. And so I picked that up in Washington, D.C. And I noticed that was something that I never want to do again because it was just so hard. And, I love pets, and that was just not for me. And that's just kind of how Wildside got started when we moved out to Utah.
So did that start getting you thinking about, okay, what do I really love? What could I use some of the skills that I've obtained, to do? I mean, how did you get to that point where you said, okay, dogs and gear, let's go?
Yeah, so we actually didn't have a dog yet when we lived in
Yes.
DC. So we had plans to get a puppy, a golden retriever puppy that my husband and I always dreamed of having, a bigger dog. But we thought it wouldn't be fair for the dog to live in, such a small space in Washington, D.C. We wanted to wait until we moved. So we moved to Utah. I was thinking, well, I maybe could pick up on photography. I love snapping photos with my phone, but how can I take this to the next level? So I started doing some research. I learned on YouTube like everyone else. And then I started Wildside Pet Photography and Jib, our first golden JIB. I started practicing on him, and I took some courses on how to get photography clients. I did that for about like a year or so and realized it wasn't for me because of the sales aspect of it.
So
It
where
was
did you start with the gear? What kind of gear did you start with? And now, you have so many incredible products, but where did it all start?
It started from a road trip that we take annually to the Outer Banks. It's a 3-day trip or a 3-day commute. It's not really a commute, is it? It's a 3-day journey
There
to
you
the
go.
Outer Banks from Utah to the Outer
It's a
Banks.
long time. Good job,
Yes,
girl.
it's
A lot
hard.
to see along the way.
lots of sleep along the way,
Yes,
for me at least.
yes. There you go.
And I really wanted this machine called the Cricut Maker. It cuts
I'm
vinyl.
familiar.
I don't know if you're familiar with it, right?
Yes,
Everyone knows about it in the craft industry. So I
yes.
grabbed that machine. I think we were in the middle of like nowhere, Oklahoma or something. They were
Like
sold out
cricket.
everywhere. They were sold
Yeah.
out everywhere. So I was just tracking where I can find it at Joann's. And it was just in some random city. And I told my husband, like, we need to stop. I need to get this machine so I have something to do
Love that.
on vacation. Most people just
Yes.
enjoy themselves on vacation.
I need something to do now.
I need something to craft. So I picked that up and then I bought a bunch of like felt sheets of like, the material that's like really thick and it's like
Yes.
cut into pieces of paper.
Yes.
The Cricut can cut that into like different shapes and I started rolling it in different like types of flowers. And then I put a
And you
Velcro
put
on the
those
back.
on the collar? Did you put
Yeah,
those on the collar? Okay.
and that's kind of how Wildside started. And after we got back from
Wow.
vacation, I started an Etsy page, and that was 2018. And it was cute for a little while, and
I'm
family
sure.
supported, friends supported it, but
You got the itch, right? You wanted to expand. And then did you go from the flowers to what? Maybe bandanas? Is that what you did next?
yeah. So I went to bandanas, something else that my dogs could wear that I could do easily because I didn't know how to sew. Even though my mom, she's a very experienced seamstress since she was young, but I have no idea how to sew. So I was using a glue gun still, like with the
Wow.
bandanas. I was using a glue gun
You are
because
awesome.
I don't know how to sew and I refuse to do it yet. And then it just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? This is not going to hold up. I need to learn how to sew. And I started watching YouTube again,
That
and
is
then
so
was just
cool.
teaching myself.
Love
Um,
that.
Started sewing the bandanas, and then some of my customers started asking, like, "Hey, do you think you'll ever, you know, go down the road where you're going to make dog collars and dog leashes?"
Sure. And then I love your attitude. You're like, well, I don't know how to do it yet. It's the power of yet. I love that about you. You're like, I don't know, but I'll learn and I'll do it. And what you have here is this beautiful, like, I guess, evolution of your product line, of your company. Tell us about Wildside Dog Gear. Like, was there a story behind the name and how you got to where you are with the name of your business?
Yeah, I mean, most people have a story, but for the name, I don't. I basically just went on Pinterest and I was just scrolling through, and I'm like, oh, that looks really nice. That W looks nice. Like,
Sure. Sounds cool, right? We can start there. It sounds really cool. Wild side. We all have a little wild side, and we know our dogs can sometimes too.
oh
So it's
yeah.
fitting. Love it. Love it. So tell me about social media because you have some tech background, and how did you use that to grow your business?
Social media was a little bit different back, I guess, like 2018. We didn't depend too much on social media like we do now.
Right.
Basically, I just posted pictures, hoping people would see them. I mean, I had no idea what Instagram was going to do for me or Facebook. I mean, I've really never had anything go viral or anything, but I think the biggest thing was social media is just connecting with your community. And a lot of my followers and my customers have been with me since I started, and they've seen this whole journey of Wildside. And we're basically like family now.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that sense of community. It's not just about a brand, but it's about kind of a movement. That's what we're seeing here with Dog Mom News. We love it. We have like incredible people who are so behind what we're doing right now. And it's just amazing how you can use social media for good to get the word out and to foster that sense of friendship and let's do this together. So tell us about your products. What are some of your top sellers?
So we offer durable dog harnesses, collars, and leashes. And it was inspired by our first dog, Jib. We
Oh,
were going to the pet store to shop for, some cute stuff for him. It was a struggle. We couldn't find anything cute or, in, his bigger size or anything durable. So that
sure.
kind of sparked an idea from where I started making the fabric handmade collars and leashes. I'm just like, I think there's a need out there for something like this. I mean, I'm not the only one, but I have my own spin on my products, which is bright, vibrant, but yet durable. Our harnesses, everyone loves them because there's a buckle at the neck and you don't have to slip it over the dog's head. Dogs hate it
Nice.
when you do that for some reason. It could be PTSD. It just could be just a thing that they don't like. Anyone. I don't think you like that if someone pulls something over
No,
your head,
of
right?
course not. Of course not. And if you can get them to kind of concede to putting it on faster, if they know it's going to be easier to come off, well, why not? And the durability. I love how you mentioned that because there's nothing worse than you invest in a product, you're really excited about it, and just what, like the shelf life's like this big, that you're putting so much time and effort into really making sure that these are products that are not only cute, but are actually going to last.
Right. And with bigger dogs, it's hard. I did buy some products for them in the past that was made for smaller dogs, but they had bigger sizes. And right when we tried it on, went for a walk, it just ripped right off of them. I was like, oh, this is not going to work with my
Sure.
75-pound, golden retriever. We need something that has, a structure to them, something, heavy duty, made for bigger dogs. I mean, you have to worry about their safety and others, at all times.
Yes, and you mentioned safety. And I know that this is a topic that you are so passionate about, the pet safe products. So I'm sure that that factors into the decisions you're making when you're developing these products as well.
Yes, so we test all of our buckle strength. We offer stainless steel hardware. It's just the strongest. And for active dogs out there too, our dogs, they swim a lot at the beach or at the pool where they
Yes.
compete in dock diving. So we need hardware that won't rust and that can last for a long time with them. So testing the dog gear strength and the material is really important to us. So we always harness on the durability of our products. No
That's
pain.
great. There's the retractable leashes can be kind of controversial. What's your take
Yeah.
on the retractable leashes?
I mean, I've used them before myself, but that was maybe like 25 years ago. I,
Right.
I really think that's just the personal preference for what you're using it for. Um, it's great for some dog training if you're trying to do recall. I think it's great. But for every day, I just think they're a little bit dangerous for me, for someone that's clumsy. There are
Mhm.
clumsy people out there. I just always have this like image in my head that I drop the retractable leash and
Right.
it hits my dog in the back of the head, and then they just run like for it.
Oh, right. It's like if it can happen, it'll probably happen.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. Now, this may seem like a really entry level question for you, and so forgive us, but I know some dog moms are watching and they want to know from you, because you're the expert, what would you say are the main differences between like a collar and a harness? Or can you give us like the top benefits of a harness versus, walking your dog just by the collar and a leash? So, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's different with everyone with collars and harnesses. It's more of like there's different types of collars out there. So the collars that we offer, they're the quick release buckles. And there's
Okay.
also, like martingales and everything else out there. So ours is just convenience and strong. That's what, I aim for. And then harnesses, some people use them for older dogs or dogs that have issues with their trachea. Like with our senior golden, there's a handle on the harness that helps us get them up, or we use it during our hikes if we need to get the dogs through a scramble or something like that. Some people use it for training, so it just kind of depends what your needs are, but you can always fit that into your lifestyle.
I love that. And I know you're an innovator, Candy. So I want to ask you, where do you see Wildside Dog Gear in the next 3 to 5 years? What's your your long-term plan for your company?
Wow, 3 to 5 years. Hopefully we can get into national parks, because we have a lot of national parks inspired designs from
It's
all the
definitely.
travels we do. And maybe also, like airports, like Salt Lake City Airport. When I go into them, I go to the gift shops. I'm like, my collars needs to be in here because these people are leaving from Utah and they want to bring something back for their dogs. Like, we need to get into
Yes.
gift shops.
Makes
Just
sense.
hopefully getting into more mom and pop stores in the future, like retail stores, not necessarily like Petco or Amazon or anything like that. But if we do, I like to go into Target for a limited time, something like that.
Oh, well, I love your plans. Sounds so fun. And we want to hear more in the future about the awesome things happening with Wildside Dog Gear. But if folks want to stay on top of what's going on with your business and your products, what's the best way for them to do that?
I'm very active on Instagram. The handle should be maybe in the bottom, Wildside Dog Gear. You can reach out there, or you can send us an email, just candy@wildsidedoggear.com.
Fantastic. Candi Wong of Wildside Dog Gear, thank you so much for your time. I've loved chatting with you. And again, we know good things are ahead for you. Take
Thank you
care.
for having me.
Thanks so much for watching this Dog Mom News clip. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome and informative Dog Mom News content. And while you're at it, ring the bell so that you can find out about more content in real time. And be sure to join us Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live show. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone.